starting on the complicated bed. We had all the pieces pre-cut at the store, except for that 4-inch piece he just showed you. That cut he did here. We just set up a fence and used the circular saw. So here goes the first piano hinge. We bought 1/2-inch plywood when we should have bought 5/8. And yeah, the screws poke through. See? So there it is.
Back to the Home Depot.
Okay. Back from the hardware store with shorter screws.
One down, 3 more to go. So as I'm doing this, I take a straight edge and make sure that these are lined up before I start screwing down my thing. And then I measured in, it's 2.5 inches on both sides to get a nice center on it. And my second one just came out wonderful. It turns really easy. Off to number 3.
Okay, so we're gonna have to flip it over to do number 3. Now something I'm freaking out about currently is, are we gonna feel those piano hinges? I have a real Princess and the Pea thing going on, so I'm pretty concerned about that.
My last piano hinge ended up kind of having a curve to it. So that's probably not going to pan out well in the long run. So I measured my 2 marks here, and they're exactly 3/4 of an inch apart. So I went to a center post and I measured 3/4 of an inch, equal spacing on either side, lined up with one set of holes. So that way I'm centered here, I'm centered here, and I'll be able to see the end of that and center that end. So if I got a middle center and both ends are centered, I should get a straight line right down the cut. Now see, this is what I wonder is, if I just push on this, it doesn't really do anything. Are you gonna have to have something that you can lift this by to get it started?
Yeah,
A little rope or something?
I have no idea. We're really concerned about that's gonna hurt all the way through the mattress. We're gonna Princess and Pea all over that. So we have a plan. We have these left from the last van build that we did. And they're soft and squishy, like yoga mats, or actually a little better. What we're gonna do is we're gonna cut these, and that way our mattress has something padded to sit on, just a little bit more pad, not be rubbing against the rough plywood. And we see it'll bring it up over those. So we won't feel those, because I am not about having metal bars across my back. We really like these blue chairs. So that's the angle we used. We measured this right here. And that's the angle we're gonna try to make our couches at.
Here's the bed frame all laid out. We're gonna have a slider to go forward and support that when the bed's laid out. And then it pulls back when it's in the seated position. And then over here, we're just gonna mount this at the proper height, and this and that box will support this whole side of the bed over here. We're also gonna lay on the bottom side an extra support running down the middle. I haven't actually cut it to size yet.
We decided to undercoat the underside with the soundproofing that we had left from the floor. Anything we've always found in camping, the more you have beneath you, the better. What's under you is as important or more important than what's over you. And to keep it from squeaking, because you know.
So we cut it just a tiny bit oversized to put it down, glued it, and then trimmed it. And then we cut strips where the other hinges are, so that when it opens, it's not going to pull it apart. Yay!
Here's the frame. It's upside down now. He had it turned right side up, and he put it all together with screws. And then in the very outside corners, he also put in L brackets. The guy we sort of got this design from that we watched on YouTube, he used brackets everywhere. So, I don't know, we added a bunch of brackets. Now, we have it flipped over. And he's putting one big center support down the middle from underneath. We didn't like the way the guy who we're copying, his design had these big 2x3s that were just out in your room all the time. So you've already seen our decision on this side to make the box that we had to have for the wheel well anyway be part of the support and a table when it's folded up like a couch. But on this side, we're just doing basic table technology. I mean, super old school. You know how your grandma's table had the things that would just slide out to support the extra piece at Thanksgiving or whatever? Super low tech. It's just gonna be a slider. It's gonna slide between this side and the cabinet.
We completed the basic bed frame last night, and this morning we cut all of the legs that we're going to have to attach to it, which we're getting ready to do now. I was so happy to cut all of these legs this morning and wake up the neighbors, because they kept us up till 2 o'clock in the morning playing loud music and partying down. So revenge was sweet. Put in the side support. Now, the frame of the bed actually runs right here. The main frame is just within this section in here.
The guy that we got this design from, I think, even used more hardware than us. But this thing is a sturdy son of a gun, this foot. So I got 2 on, I'm gonna do 2 more, and then we'll work on the front. I forgot to show the frame without the actual bed on it. So, we drug the frame in here first, and we're just trying to adjust it so that the slide support, oh, see, that is a little too snug. I may have to pull that back out a little bit. So this is a slide support so that, like, that's about where it comes when it's in its sitting position, but I can't put it in a sitting position because I haven't attached the bed top, the boards, to the frame yet. So if I push on it, it'll just go out, you know, out the back door or something. In its bed position, you have this extra support to make sure you have even support here so this won't bow. Then we're also going to attach a leg system right up here, where it'll have a leg and a 2x3 going across the front. And then over in this corner, we're going to have a cabinet, and obviously it's supported by that. So that's kind of how the front works. And then in the back, I'm getting ready to go ahead and attach the legs to the floor, and then I will attach this strip here to the frame. Then I'll be able to push the seat back into the sitting position and drag it back down without this jumping around at all. And right now, well, after I attach it much better, I can get into my garage. Not totally necessary, but we thought it was kind of an extra benefit. And right now, while I'm trying to attach these legs, I'll be able to access it from up here. I'm going to put a support on the back side of it, where it's not the first thing you see when you first glance in here. So after I get this attached, I'll attach the top, and we'll be pretty much done. Then we need to just pad the top and find a bed for it. We had an extra area rug sitting around, so we decided to go ahead and add this so we won't get any splinters, because the wood is kind of coarse, and just to give us a little bit of extra padding. So there she is, ready to go in. We got her in. Now we just need to put on the front leg assembly on the front of this. Starting to look like a pretty cool hippie mobile. So I love how hippified this looks. We are going to turn this into a hippie vignette. It is a little difficult to raise. Gotta pull it up here in the middle. Get it started. There's its sitting position. There's an extra support right here that retracts. Then you have your little table. Support's gone. You got a little bit of floor space here, but we're gonna put a cabinet in right here too. And then you have seating back here. And your access to your garage. This morning we went out and bought a bed. The bed stores were absolutely useless. So we got a 3-inch foam mattress topper and a 3-inch gel foam mattress topper, and we're going to layer those so we'll have 6 inches total of padding. We'll put the firmer one on the bottom, the softer one on the top, and we think we will like that, hopefully.
Cut this back here?
Corner? I don't know. I think I just leave it. You want to dance it over? It's look, there's a gap over there. There you go, perfect. Smoosh it good.
Okay, smooshed it. Okay, next.
There's the first layer of bed. It's not as firm as I thought it might be. Seemed too bad though. So here's my assembly. I just drilled a hole up into this and it's sticking down a little bit in order to achieve the exact same height as the one across the way. And then I got again, bigger than I needed. This holds a few hundred pounds and stuff. And I put my 175 pounds on this before I hooked all this up. And this is, I had to take this whole thing off so I could see where I had something to drill into underneath. So I can get rid of my mark now. That was my mark for that. There. Oh no, I made a clean spot. Oh no. Oh no, I made a clean spot. Oh shoot. Kind of dark down here. I don't know if you can see how I did put a big washer on there and glued it in place. I've tied a big knot in this for the underside. I did do 2 square knots the first time around, but it just wasn't that large of a knot. So, doing one of these, and the knot is a lot bigger. And this is something that for sure won't come undone. So then what I'm going to do is I'm going to take some liquid nail. This stuff dries pretty quick. And I am going to goop it all the way around where it's going to meet up with that hole. And this will keep the knot from getting undone and glue it around the hole so it won't be slipping and sliding all over the place. So I just take the other end of my rope and pull that puppy tight, and then on the other end, put a weight so it gets snugged up nice and tight against the board or against the washer. So there, I tied off a weight to the other end of it, and so that's going to stay nice and taut and dry, just snugged up nice and tight to that hole right there. So there's my pulley, and then back in the back corners I used a level to mark a couple of holes to level. And so I measured the height up from the bed and did an equal height, because this side of the van, the way it's built, is totally different from this side of the van. So I just measured the height, and this one's actually back a little farther, but that's what I got. And now a review. We've been camping in this for about a month now, so we've kind of learned what we like and what we don't like about this. Now what I can do is I can stand outside and I can pull on this and lift the bed up. But if I'm out here, there has to be somebody inside to push it, hold it in place, get it locked down. I prefer to just grab them from in here, and as I pull these, I brace my knee or my shin or my leg against the bottom and push. Okay, now I'm almost all the way in. Hit this wood, I got it stacked in here so I can lift it and get it beyond that wood, laying on the floor. And then I've just been using big old clamps, big old ratchet clamps. Actually, this is the primary side. So, when I originally did this, I put these little latches on here, and they never want to line up quite perfect, and they're too flimsy, they're too small. I pinched my fingers several times. So for the meantime, I'm just using these clamps, and maybe I'll come up with something better later. I think we're actually going to rebuild the entire bed. After I put this up, I usually re-secure my ropes. So final analysis is it's pretty cute, and you can sit on it. The mattresses are so thick though that you tend to just perch on the end of this. You don't really have much seating space, and if you want to sit up and work, you have to have a pillow behind you for back support. It's slanted quite a bit. I can sit down, and it's somewhat comfortable. I can sit here and work, especially I got a little work table that I set up, and I can actually pull it right up to here and really do all my editing and stuff. It's pretty darn comfortable for that, actually, with a pillow behind my back. It's okay, but you feel really perched on this edge here. There's not much here. As for the back seat, it is so high that there's only 18 inches here. So if you wanted to sit here, your face is going to be up staring at that storage cabinet instead of looking at the ocean or whatever that's outside the door. So it really doesn't work for the back seat at all. That's really cool that we can raise and lower our bed at all. It's pretty awesome. We will probably redesign it. What we'll probably do is just put a seam down the middle. We'd like to flip the bed the other way after we gut it. We can turn it the other way. So this is as wide as it'll ever be. And then just put one seam down the middle where you can flip that whole back half up and have a nice deep seat and a good solid high back. Be able to fold the other half up too to look out the back, where if you have a big enough seat in here, you could still probably see out a little bit. But right now you're trying to sit in this area that has this real low ceiling. If your heads were way back here instead of up there, then yeah, you could kind of look down at something. You wouldn't be able to see the sky, but if you're at the ocean looking at the water or something, it'd be a great view. So I think we'll probably end up redesigning it eventually. It's kind of cool. We don't love it. The other thing is the mattresses we used.
So we had a little problem with, we left gaps along the sides so it would be easy to raise and lower, but it made gaps along the side that you like fell into in the middle of the night. So I made what we call our snake pillows. And they're just big long tubes that go the whole length, and we tuck them in alongside.
Here's to show you what our bed is really made of. Okay, we do have that carpet that we put over the wood. We have the two memory foam ones that we bought at Walmart that we showed you earlier, and then this is another 3-inch, I think. Yeah, another 3-inch of latex pad from a different bed system. And then we were fearful of this being hot the way it is, so we also bought this gel topper that's supposed to be a cooling topper. Apparently it doesn't do its job all that well because it's still hot as heck when we go to bed at night. It's a super comfy bed. It's nice and cushy and soft, and oh, it's wonderful. It's like sleeping on a cloud. But we're in the desert right now, and it just holds the heat. It takes a long time for that mattress to cool out. So we're having issues with that. I don't know if there's something we can do to resolve it other than buying some other totally different system. If you have a suggestion about that, go ahead and leave us a comment below. And thanks for tuning in. Have a great day. Like, subscribe, and all that good stuff.